Hi all, this is Deepthi. Now I'm going to give a presentation regarding the paper titled Software Maintenance and Evolution, a Roadmap by the authors Keith Bennett and Vaclav Rajlik. Coming to authors and journal, the author Keith Bennett was a professor and a former chair both within the Department of Computer Science at the University of Durham. His research was addressing new software architectures which support software evolution. Coming to Vaclav Rajlik author, he is a professor and a former chair of the Department of Computer Science at Wayne State University. He was also an associate professor of computer and communication science at the University of Michigan. His research interests include software change, evolution, comprehension, and maintenance. Here, both authors were general chairs of IEEE International Conference on Software Maintenance. This paper has total citations of 1036. And next, coming to the research questions. Here, the paper revolves around the research of how can software be designed in order to be evolved or updated easily, and also how can the maintainability be measured with the best approaches and the strategies. So, and next, coming to the motivation. Here, usually the software maintenance and evolution are like distinguished by their enormous cost and slow speed of implementation. Here, the main goal of this paper is to describe a landscape for research in software maintenance and evolution in the next coming years. So, in order to improve the speed and accuracy of change while reducing the costs as well, and also by identifying the most tactical problems, strategies, and topics of importance. Here, these goals are met by taking two approaches. One of that approach is that staged model by projecting the present trends and practices. Secondly, the more extreme concept of software evolution is discussed in the coming slides. So next, coming to the software maintenance. Here, the software maintenance can be referred as general post-delivery activities. And in a more precise way, we can tell that software maintenance is a modification of software product after the delivery to correct faults and also to improve the performance or other parts or to adapt the product to a modified environment. And software emulation can be referred to a particular phase in the staged model approach. So here, research in software maintenance can be undertaken in these following broad areas. So here comes the system dynamics, which is used to model the software when it changes over the time in order to understanding the underlying techniques and mechanisms, and also the studies of software change in order to investigate the impact analysis and change propagation. And next comes the maintenance processes like defining, measuring, improving, and quality assurance of the products. And the legacy and reverse engineering is used here to recover a software asset which has become more expensive these days to maintain. Next comes to importance of software maintenance. Here, one of the survey studies which is done by the author named Linz and Swanson has categorized these software maintenance activities into four parts. Those are adaptive, perfective, and corrective and preventive. One of these studies stated that the incorporation of new user requirements here is the main challenging thing for the evolution and software maintenance. If these changes can be known at the design time, we can build in properly with the approaches and the techniques. Here, the software maintenance here is very important because like it consumes a huge part of the overall life cycle cost, and also here it's very inability to change software quickly and reliably means that business opportunities are lost. So these enduring problems make the profile of maintenance research is likely to be rapidly increased in the upcoming years. So one of the major challenging thing for the research community here is to develop a good understanding of maintenance and software evolution, which scales to business needs. So many computer science research has been benefit of this in the initial development of the software. Many others also claim to do so, but the reliability is the main missing thing here. And next comes the staged model for software lifecycle. Here, this approach projects and extrapolates from the current trends and problems. This model helps in the analysis of maintenance and software evolution for the modern environment. Here, this approach is an important framework for finding out the research needs and areas of software maintenance and evolution. Here, the software lifecycle has a sequence of 5 stages. Those are like initial development, evolution stage, servicing stage, and the phase out and close down stage. Here, this is the simple staged model. The first stage is initial development stage. During this initial development stage, here the first version of the software system is developed. This first version might be lacking with some features, but it already possesses the architecture which will persist throughout the life of a program. Here, the main contribution of this stage is to separate the maintenance phase into an evolution stage, followed by a servicing and phase out, and close down stages. Another important outcome of this initial development is the knowledge of the programming team acquires. Here the knowledging is not is here the knowledge is nothing but the application domain, user requirements, formats, like those all. Here this knowledge will be a crucial prerequisite for the subsequent phase of evolution. Next comes the evolution stage. Here the software evolution stage main goal is to implement the major changes to the system, like without being able to predict how the user requirements will be evolved in the future. Initial development in this evolution stage are clearly closely linked. Here the main issue in this stage is to keep the architects and designers in the team of the software architects and designers in the team is most important thing. Once they are lost, then the software very quickly and moves to the next stage, which is a servicing stage. Here in the software evolution stage, this also corrects the defects in the application and is also response to the both developers and the user requirements as well. These requirements maybe are based on the experience with the past applications and all. Here, architecture and software team knowledge make this stage most possible thing. They are the main things in the software evolution stage. And next, coming to the servicing stage. During the servicing stage, only small changes are possible. They usually take a form of patches and wrappers. Here in this stage, for the business, the software is likely to be no longer a core product. Maybe the changes are much more original here. So the movement from evolution to servicing stage maybe involves a major change in the project management. Some of that major changes causes are here are only minor corrections will be undertaken here. Might be senior designers and architects will be unavailable, and also accurate cost prediction is needed here. So the major problems of this stage are as listed here. Understanding the software well enough to make an updates correctly, and also making the changes without causing any unexpected errors, and mapping the user's expressed changes to the software and revalidating the changes and all. And next, coming to the phase out and close down stages. Here in this step, the main aim is here is to manage the software towards the end of the life of the program. Here we can see that main two business issues. One of that is if the software is outdated, like and the business contract is going to end, then how can the asset value of the software be managed? This is one of the business issue, and also one of the other issues, can any of the software be reused like that? So during the phase out stage, no more servicing will be taken, but the system can be in a production stage. Here the users will be work around the known effects and all. During the close down stage, here the software use is disconnected and the users are directed towards a replacement here. Next, here is the versionalized staged model. Here in the version staged model, the software team produces different versions of the software during the phase of evolutions and during the phase of evolution, as we see here. All the substantial changes in this functionality are implemented in the future versions. If one of a few version becomes outdated and users needs a new requirement of functionalities here, then they have to replace the versions with a new version. This is one of the issue. This is also called shrink wrap software. So here each stage has very different technical solutions, process, staff needs, and management activities here. Here, the version stage model, like we can understand from this model how to keep a system within a particular stage for as long as possible. And next, coming to software change. Here, the change is nothing but a process that either requires a new user requirements into an existing system or modifies the system if the requirements are not currently implemented. So software change is nothing but the basic operation of the both software evolution stage and the software servicing stage, which you have seen before. Here the change mini cycle consists of the following phases. Request for change. Here the request for change is from the users of the system, they'll give a bug report of a request for additional functionalities or requirements. And next, coming to program comprehension in the planning phase, it is a prerequisite out of the change. This phase consumes more than half of all the maintenance resources and it takes huge cost and all. So next comes to change impact analysis. Here we can the this stage indicates how costly the change is going to be and whether it is need to be undertaken at all or not, all the requirements need to be undertaken at all or not. And here the next phase is the change implementation. This phase may consist of several steps and all. Each step visiting one specific software parts or components. If the visited component is modified, might be it no longer be fit with the other components, maybe because it may no longer properly interact with the other uh, components as it is outdated. So, next phase here is the verification and validation of the software components is the next phase of the software. And this change mini cycle ends with the update of the program documentation. Here the phases of the change mini cycle can be supported by all the specialized software tools here. And next comes the legacy software term, which is nothing but an software developed in the past, but which is in still usage to perform the task and which meets the business needs now as well. Some years ago, this legacy software was one of the major software problems, but it has some become less prominent in these upcoming years and these years. So here the reverse engineering is a high risk and has a huge enormous cost issues also. It also needed more labor with it business benefits when the business benefits are not clear here. So the stage model which we have discussed offers a clear explanation for the reverse engineering here. One of the main challenging thing in the legacy software is that we do not know or guess now what the future software systems will look like. This means that exploring migration solutions when the target is not clear is might be the difficult thing nowadays. So coming to software evolution, one of the research developed four scenarios for the software evolution. So scenarios are how software will be behaved in the and how software and society will interact and how software will be developed how software will be used. These scenarios we need to keep in mind well in the software evolution and maintenance. And next, coming to the conclusion part. So here, one of the main conclusion here is the level of abstraction of software engineering will continue to rapidly increase in the upcoming years as we are seeing it. The development of new innovative management methods like software staged model to evolution, which is leading to a better understanding of like how technology and business interacts these days. And one of the main advantage of the discussed stage model is that it clarifies the relationship between the software user and the vendor or the surface company. Here, the ability to change and evolve software easily, like reliably, is a most challenging thing within the software engineering these days. For the users, software currently has a strong technological focus and it might become significantly more sensitive to the their demands and the desires. And next, coming to references, this is the reference of the paper. Thank you.